So music, dance, I don't know how everybody else feels, but I know that I would much prefer to see things in person. I love the television. I appreciate it. I get on my email, my online, I get on the internet, but there is nothing like being in the audience, especially at a major performing arts theater like the Kravis Center in West Palm Beach. And so I always ask Linda Birdsey to talk about what she does. She's the director of marketing and public relations over there at the Kravis Center, and I don't know how she can even sleep at night. So thank you, Linda, for taking your time. You are doing a fantastic job.
Oh, thank you, Anita. That's so funny. How can I sleep at night? Yes, sometimes I don't sleep that well. There's a lot to do.
Well,
to think about to get done.
Right, and it's the shows this coming up on Kravis on Broadway they're just toe tapping.
Oh, the season coming up, the 15-16 season is amazing. We are so excited about what we have to offer coming up for this season. With we've got the Blue Man Group. You mentioned toe tapping. Hello, 42nd Street. Come on, those dancing feet. It'll be dancing on our stages next season, and then of course Motown the musical. This is a show that was put together. Barry Gordy, who's Motown, and it's all about Motown, and it revisits all the artists from Motown. Matilda, which is a great family show, and based on the book by Roald Dahl. And then another tapper, Bullets Over Broadway. Woody Allen's Bullets Over Broadway, I should say. This is Woody Allen's film that was now been made into a Broadway musical.
I didn't know that at the time when that was announced. I didn't know he did things like that.
Yes, and so I saw this in Broadway too. It's great. And then The Bridges of Madison County, the Broadway musical. I'm sure a lot of your listeners are familiar with the book and then familiar with the movie. And so here we have the Broadway show.
Right. That was quite a movie, as a matter of fact. And I was surprised when I saw that also. I couldn't imagine that being a Broadway show somehow.
Yeah, and when you see the Broadway show, too, I think it goes into a little bit more detail from the book versus the movie. I mean, the movie was more of a bridge version of the book. So when you see it, and the music is beautiful, and it's moving, and it's passionate, of course, and a great just roundup for the season, for the 2015-16 season for Kravis on Broadway.
Well, I wanted to go back now to the Blue Man Group. I have seen that. And, you think, okay, well, that's for those young kids. No, it's not. It is so good.
It's crazy. It's like performance art. It's, the guys are hysterical.
Right.
What they do is so interesting and fun. I mean, it's a fun night. It's a fun night. And you're right. It's not just for kids or young. It's for everyone. They're creative. They're funny, and it's a good night out. A good night of laughter, and there's something different too. It's not your typical type Broadway. It's definitely something new and special that we wanted to bring. And you're right. I mean, I saw this when it was in the small, I think it's Astor Place Theater in New York, very small. And now, over the years, they've transformed, and now it's playing, I think it's still playing up in either Orlando or Vegas. They have these sit-down groups that perform. But we've got it here that we're offering on our Broadway season, and we're very excited for Blue Man Group. So, that they'll be here, and, it'll segue into a blue Christmas. Christmas is right around the corner.
Right. Well, one thing I found out, Linda, about it, because when I saw it, I said, well, but they're going all over the country. And then they said, well, they have a lot of blue men. I mean, it's not just those three, those three guys that, and you can see if you put the blue stuff on you, you couldn't tell who it is anyway.
No, right, exactly. You can't. It's totally that blue latex paint, what they, work with. You cannot tell who it is, but you definitely get, they're funny. They're just hysterical with their staring looks and
right.
And acts, like, oh my gosh. I mean, they're comical they're straight men all the way around, just doing very funny stuff.
And when you think about it, you can picture somebody coming up with this idea. Hey, guys, let's do this stuff. Let's paint our faces blue, and let's get these drums and these and beat on all sorts of things and have fun.
And make this painting and do this crazy stuff. And people will come and pay to see it.
Oh, they're going to pay to see this. This is fabulous. Well, talk a little bit about now, people. Let's give now. Are they going to go? If they go to Kravis.org, they can see all of this, can't they?
Absolutely. If you go to Kravis.org, our official website, and if you want to go to we even have a Kravis.org/Broadway, and you can go even without even having to go into the main site and dig around. Just go to Kravis.org/Broadway. That will take you to the 15-16 lineup. There's a video there that gives you a nice little visual on all of the shows for next season, which is great. People love to see that, and you get more of a taste of what the show is going to be about. And so that's definitely a place to go and to find out more about all 6 of these shows.
I'm glad you brought that up, because as I was seeing that and being in the communication business and trying to make things look like, electrifying, I said, how do they do that? First of all, they're not even playing yet. Are you grabbing those from the shows on Broadway? How do you make something like that look like that?
Exactly. And you'll see a lot of, sometimes it'll say on the video, original Broadway cast. And so what you are seeing is a lot of the, with the exception of Blue Man, that's probably like their tour. Everything else is the Motowns from the Broadway, Matilda's from Broadway, Bullets is from Broadway, Bridges is from Broadway. And so they're all of the shows, and it's their what they call B-roll that we acquire, and then we can then take and produce this video that we use for the our Kravis on Broadway launch, and then we've loaded up on the website so people can see and get a taste of what the Broadway shows are all about.
Now, when you think of it, the prices that people pay at Kravis are probably 1/2 of what they would have to pay on Broadway.
Oh, this subscription. It's going to start at $180 for if you want, say, a subscription in the balcony, and it goes up to $499, which still you're getting 6 shows, less than $500.
I know. I think that's why you do so well with it, because the people who are here know that.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're getting the quality. You know
exactly.
What I'm saying? You're getting great shows, you're getting great price, and it's a great experience. I mean, the Kravis Center, we have free parking, 5 floors of free parking. So I want to just, make sure everyone remembers that, because parking can, can be, you're looking for parking and you're paying for parking, but here you don't have to.
In New York? Yeah, right. You don't even usually take a cab.
Right.
The other thing that I don't know I think it's worth mentioning is when we've gone to Broadway, a lot of the theaters are very tight. Your legs, you're really sitting in tight quarters, but at the Kravis, the seating is beautiful.
Yes, it is. It's great seating. The seats are comfortable. I mean, a lot of those New York theaters, quite a few of them are older theaters, and the seats are obviously from another time. But no, we have. I'm glad you mentioned that. We do have nice, comfortable seating. Also, if you need special seating, if you are, have, need a special seating, say you're, coming in a wheelchair, or you need just kind of special seating, you just mention it to our, customer service reps on the phone, and they also have special seating if there is a need.
Yeah, you do a wonderful job there. Everybody, and then people greet you when you first come in, and the ushers are so lovely, and I know they're all volunteers. We never talk about volunteers, Linda. Is that something we should be promoting when we talk? Do you need them?
Absolutely. I love that you mentioned that, because, without our volunteers, they help, to make the Kravis Center, the support that they give. We have hundreds of volunteers that help, do various things here, mostly ushering, ticket taking, handing out the programs, and they're very, very valuable source manpower that we have, and individuals too that give of themselves, to the Kravis Center. You remember, we're a 501c3. We are a nonprofit, and so these folks, come out, and we, get. I think we're up to like 600 volunteers maybe now.
How many? How many?
I think we're around 600.
I thought you were kidding.
No,
600.
It could be a little less than that, but I know we have been as high as 700. But they it comes and goes as far as the years, and some of our volunteers, are don't come through the years. There's some have been with us, like I think since the beginning, since we've opened.
Do you have a party for the volunteers?
We do. Every year we have a volunteers. It's so funny because I was just looking up, trying to create. We're doing our volunteer salute ad where we salute our volunteers. And we do that, in the coming months. We'll salute our volunteers and thank them with a reception. And but they are, if any of your listeners are looking to volunteer, we certainly can go online to our Kravis.org official website, and it'll tell you, there's an application there to fill out. It goes to the office there, and in September is when they start to recruit new volunteers. So, check it out. It's a great way to give back, to the community, because we are certainly trying to give as much as we can to the community, and we definitely, value all of our volunteers because they all do so much.
And then they get to see the shows.
And they see the shows, exactly. Yes, a lot of the volunteers are here. They see the shows. They pick out different days. They're here. We're during season. It's 7 days a week. There's something going on here.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, and they have an opportunity to see the performances that are here on stage here at the Kravis Center.
Well, I just want you to know that this enthusiastic voice is Linda Birdsey, and she's been at the Kravis Center in a lot of different positions for a long time, and it's pure love for her. She is, of course, one of their staff members. She's the director of marketing and public relations. It's a very big responsibility because those seats have to be filled once all their other executives get in and they get these groups to come down, and they work so hard to present the kinds of beautiful shows and very, very upscale. Well, these are, I have to just say, we went to some sort of a theater the other day, and it wasn't Equity, and it was very nice, and people were performing, but this is really the glamour of Kravis Center. They do everything the very best. So you can be assured when you go there, you're going to see there's nothing better. It's just first class. I mean, the gorgeous red curtain, the beautiful ambiance, and then the shows are exquisite. So Linda Birdsey does a great job, and it's hard work. So let's everybody get on to their website, kravis.org, order tickets. You have a choice of so many different kinds of things. We're just talking now about Kravis on Broadway, but I don't know if it's appropriate to bring in any other things that you'd like to at this point.
Well, I do want to remind your listeners that we have Anything Goes, which is still Broadway, we're happy to say, is going to be opening next week, so on Tuesday. So, and that runs until the 15th of March. So if anyone is interested, we still have, I think, a few tickets there for Anything Goes, which, again, great Cole Porter musical. ANITA, I know we're going to see you on opening night.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then we still have Memphis, the musical, left for the season, and Pippin. So we still have 3 great Broadway shows left for the season for those folks that are interested, and we hope they will, again, check it out on our official website, kravis.org, or go to kravis.org/Broadway. I do want to mention, too, just for Broadway for 15 and 16, in case anyone is interested, just so you know the process, too. Right now, we've just announced it, and we're going to be sending out renewal notices to our subscribers, to our current subscribers. And so for those subscribers, they'll have an opportunity to purchase that series for the next year. Following them, then it'll go into our donors, who will then have an opportunity to purchase the series, subscription series, and that'll happen sometime starting in May. And then come July, like the middle of July, we will go on public sale for anyone else who, for the public, the general public, that is interested in purchasing the subscription. But if you're not a subscriber now and you're really interested, I really would encourage you to become a member. You can do that for as little as $75, and that is a tax deduction. It is also helps us with our, goes towards, we're a nonprofit, as I said, and that helps with our mission with education. and it gets you, it'll get you that series, before it goes on sale to the general public. So I want your audience to think about that too.
Well, Linda, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was also very appreciative of what you do with all the children. And you talked about it was a huge amount of children that you bring through the Kravis Center from the schools. You don't charge them. This is a way for young people to appreciate culture. Why don't you share some of that? I just think it's terrific.
I know we talked about it briefly at our event, and we had it this past last Monday with our Kravis Center rollout. But yes, we have, education is just one of our main pillars of our mission, and we have had over 2 million school children come to our doors since we started the program years ago. We call it the Star Series, and it's daytime programming for K through seniors of various programs for them to see, which might be theater, might be dancing, music, but and the majority of them it's a waiver fee, if they're on free or reduced lunch, no child would pay. The teachers who chaperone them obviously don't pay. But, and also if there's a problem where, say, the busing money, because they get their busing from the Palm Beach County School Board, and the busing, if that money runs out for the busing, which it sometimes can happen in the year, no worries, Kravis Center will cover the busing too. So, it's a great program, and that's just one of many programs, because we have other programs. As you witnessed that one program, Broadway Artist Intensive, that you saw the young girl sing, who's going to a program who she's destined to want to work on Broadway. And then we have the DeGeorge Academy, which helps students who are in trying to get into the performing arts schools such as Bach or Dreyfus, and may not have the means, to have those private lessons that help give them, that extra, oomph, if you will, to just a confidence, having those lessons to get and to use to be able to audition to get into those schools.
Well, I'm very appreciative of what you do. I don't know if I shared this with you before, but when my son was in second grade in Miami Beach, he was going to school, a retired violin teacher came around and asked kids if they would like to learn to play the violin. And unbeknownst to me, my son put his hand up. And he played the violin there. They took little lessons. And then as he got older, he was very good at this, wound up going to Interlochen, the National Music Camp, for 4 years. And he's a lawyer today, but he is in a community orchestra in Miami because of that early education, and it has changed his life.
I love that. That's the kind of stuff you want to hear. Exactly. Arts can change your life in so many ways, in a good way, so many. I that's a great story, Anita.
See, you didn't know that. We know each other so well.
I love that story.
So let me ask you, though, but you do have concerts there. We never talk about that. But...
Oh, we do. We have, oh my gosh, classical. We have, I want to say probably some of the best offering of classical, the number of classical. We do anywhere from, in our regional classical series, Music at 8, Music at 2, a combination of anywhere from 15 to 16 classical offerings of orchestras, throughout the season. And for this season, we're down to the wire now. We just finished, Dresden Philharmonic was here this week, and they were completed. And now we have coming up a Far Cry Chamber Orchestra with Leon Fleischer and Catherine Jacobson Fleischer. And they're going to be doing duo pianos. And then we have the BBC Concert Orchestra with Keith Lockhart, who's going to be conducting, and Charlie Albright on piano. So those are our last two of our regional arts, but we also have Mr. Bell, Joshua Bell.
Oh, that's...
Speaking of the violin, we have Joshua Bell coming on March 23rd, so, maybe I had to get your son to come up here for that.
Right, he's the best. Well, they have 9-year-old triplets, and so between he does, they're very busy, but and I have to just say that Joshua Bell is, as far as I'm concerned, the finest violinist now today.
Is he not wonderful?
And he's so personable. And so he started as a young kid, and the story that he sat in the subway. He also tried to see if people would stop him. They didn't know who he was. and he was playing there in the subway.
I think I've heard of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's. I love the arts, as you can see, and I love what you do, Linda. And I was thinking about when you were talking. When I have been here a long time, and I remember when we saw Pavarotti and we saw the regional arts at the Leaky Teepee.
Oh, right, right.
And
I remember.
Right, and the acoustics were terrible, but yet the performers were fantastic, and we all sat through it. And now, if you go 25 years later and you sit in the Kravis Center, it's 25 years? It's about 30 years. How long ago?
Well, we'll be celebrating our 25th anniversary during our 16-17 season. Right now, we're in our 14-15.
Right.
We're going to go in one more season, so one more season to go, and then we'll be in our 25th anniversary.
Well, I was close. All I know.
Feel like we're there already.
Yeah, there's such a difference and so I have to promote people donating. Yes, many of you maybe don't have the means, and maybe you just can get the money together to see the shows, and that's great. But anyone's listening, it wouldn't hurt when you go to your lawyer to do your estate planning. Put some money aside to keep the Kravis Center, the Performing Arts going, because even though you're no longer here, your money will be doing something very important. There's nothing like looking at the people coming out of those shows, whether they're in their 90s or whether they're in their teens. And you need money to do this. The tickets do not pay for this. This is through donations, through sponsorships. So I really urge people, it shouldn't come free. I mean, even though you pay what you pay for the ticket, it's just not very much compared to all their expenses. So I always like to urge people to make sure you donate to these beautiful and wonderful organizations that we're so fortunate to have here now in Palm Beach County.
Thank you so much for that. And anyone interested in it and wanting to donate in any way, whether it's a membership or our endowment, our Helen K. Person Society, which is a great way if you're, estate planning and where to give. We have all kinds of ways to definitely, help you facilitate and to, help the arts here at the Kravis Center continue. And again, you can find that information on our website and through our development department. They'd be happy to talk with anyone, your listeners that are interested. But again, it's from the small to the large, anything. And we also just thank people just for, purchasing the tickets, because the ticket sales that is still like the bulk, but absolutely, we cannot, you can't go along with ticket sales alone. We do rely on the generosity, and people have been very generous. I have to say, it's a very generous community.
Well, the building is absolutely gorgeous on the outside, no less on the inside. And for those of you who are handicapped and you can't park in the parking garage, they do have valet parking. It does cost a little bit of money, but it might be worth it for you because it's very convenient. And the parkers are just so polite and so nice. I don't know if you do training for all your employees, but whether they're at the bar inside serving drinks or whatever they do, it's well done. Before I forget, someone told me that you also have a restaurant upstairs. I did not know that.
The Bistro Teatro, Anita. You should check it out.
I want to.
Anything goes. It's on the mezzanine level, and I always suggest to people, come early because that thing does fill up quite early. But it's a great place to get just a bite, like a sandwich or a nice wrap, a salad, a soup, just light food type items. And also there's a full bar up there as well.
And it's not open, though, after the show, just before the show.
It's open exactly. When the doors open to the lobby, say it's an evening show at 8 o'clock, the doors will open at 6:30. The bistro's open. If there's a matinee and it's at 2 o'clock, anytime the lobby is open, the bistro will be open, before the show.
That's
and
good.
If there's an intermission, the bistro would be open as well.
Really? See, now, isn't that funny? As many times as I've been there. So I will check it out when I come this next week because it's very convenient. So many of us are working. We don't have time to eat before, and it's great. Well, Linda, I've told people about you, Linda Birdsey. You have to know that it takes a lot of staff members to run an organization like this, and from the CEO and the board members and people like Linda who have to, dot the I's, cross the T's. You should be appreciated because it is 24 hours many times when you're having some major events, and I know that you haven't been happier. I don't know. Have you ever had a job where you were happier?
I think I have, and I think this has been, it's great that I'm like 10 minutes from my house.
Oh, my. How'd you plan that?
God's will. Thank you very much. He planned it for me. But yeah, it's so great, and it's a great place to be. Palm Beach County, is a great place, and it's all perfect, really.
Yeah, it's safe. That's the other thing too, that you don't have to worry about any security problems. It's very safe and very easy to get to whatever you need there. The restrooms are in many different areas. But one thing I know I haven't.
Restroom.
Oh, wait, I haven't talked about this. I love your gift shop. My husband has to pull me out of there. I would buy so many things in that gift shop. It's gorgeous.
She has Diane has an eagle eye for jewelry and ladies thing. If you want to find some very unusual kinds of jewelry, definitely check out the gift shop. And she has all kinds of other things as well. But you can find some very interesting and really neat things there. So yes, I'm so glad you enjoyed that gift shop. I'll let her know.
I do, because my husband gets the hearing things for his, because he has hearing aids. He goes and gets his earphones. And while he's doing that, I run in there to see what I can see.
You're in the gift shop. That's great.
I'm in the gift shop, and I do love it. They are beautiful. Is that run by a volunteer, or is that outside?
No, that's a staff person who runs it, but she does have volunteers that work with her, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's special. In fact, if you're looking for that neat kind of a gift, and remember, you're buying this, but it is going to a not-for-profit. So all the money you spend there, it's not like you're going to their own a little shop. Anyway, we've run out of time. I've had so much fun with you today.
Me too, Anita. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'll see you next week.
All right.
Thanks, Linda. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.